He then says, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice. Now it's interesting because now he's going backwards, and I'm finally where I need us to be. Because to the Jewish mind that is sitting in this church in Rome, when they talk about this idea of living sacrifices, there are two things that would come to mind. Number one, the sacrificial system would come to mind, where in the Old Testament, each person, each sinner would have to bring a different sacrifice, and that sacrifice would be killed by the priest, and it would be burned, and blood would be sprinkled. That's one type of living sacrifice. But you'll remember that there was another living sacrifice that would be connected to the story of Abraham. Now you do remember that after God gives this covenant to Abraham that his seed would be blessed, he had no child. So God, how are you going to make me the father of many nations when I don't have a seed? So Abraham one morning early has to, after he's given this baby boy we know as Isaac, he has to go on this journey with Abraham and some of his helpers and some wood, and they're going up this mountain because God has told him, you need to go ahead and sacrifice your son. But because Abraham isn't driven by works, but he's driven by faith, even though he doesn't want to do this thing because it's his only son. No, that's not true, Pastor. You forget about Ishmael? No, I didn't forget about Ishmael. But Ishmael was the son of works. And Isaac was the son of promise. As Abraham is now climbing this mountain with his only son, the one that the Lord planted in Sarah's womb, even though she was past age of childbearing, that son he told him to sacrifice to see whether or not Abraham was works-driven or faith-driven. But Dad, Abraham, where's the sacrifice? You've got the wood, you've got the fire, but where is the sacrifice? And at the appointed time, when it's almost time for Isaac to be sacrificed, he looks up, and there is a ram caught in the thicket, a reminder of the grace of God. He says to them, present your bodies as living sacrifices, because Jesus has already paid it all. And they know that based on the Old Testament sanctuary service, there's no such thing as a living sacrifice, because whatever is brought to the priest, it must be killed. But because of what Jesus has done, they no longer have to die because of sin, because Jesus has died for our sins.